Today I'm going to be learning about trucking in Germany. Is German trucking the best? So interested to see why it would be considered the best, whether it's the trucks themselves, whether it's the driving in Germany, which I could be imagine being like a pretty enjoyable job as a trucker, like having the scenery of Germany to drive through. Maybe it's just the most efficient because of the road systems and so on. But yeah, tell me if you know any truckers in Germany. Do they enjoy driving, working in the country? And yeah, let's just learn more about it. If there's any other good videos on the subject, please recommend them too.
Out of all the nations in Europe, no particular country seems to have more love, or perhaps a more fitting word would be obsession, with transportation and logistics than the EU's main economic powerhouse, Germany. Boasting a population of just over 83 million people, Germany's position in the heart of Central Europe makes them the continent's king of international trade. With a cultural emphasis on practicality and common sense, the infrastructure of the country known by many names just might make it one of the best places on earth to be a truck driver. But I suppose those best able to discern the truth of that statement are the estimated 500,000 truck drivers who make their home in the nation adorned in black, red, and gold.
500,000 truckers in Germany? That's an insane number. I had no idea. 500,000? Considering the population, is that just German residents that have a job as a trucker? Like, I had no idea. I guess it makes sense, like truckers and truck driving is so important to like any country, any economy, like transporting goods about, and it makes sense that it requires a high number of truckers. But 500,000, so I guess some people watching this probably are a trucker in Germany. Tell me your experiences of it, what's good, what's bad. Something I'm interested in is like the automation, things like you see these driverless trucks from like Tesla. I don't know how that's going these days, but other companies as well. But is that a real threat to trucking in Germany, to these people's jobs, do you think?
The roads of Germany are dominated by renowned European truck brands such as Scania, Volvo, Iveco, DAF, and of course the popular German brands MAN and Mercedes.
Oh yeah, I never knew that was a German company, MAN, and they also make buses here in Malaysia. I remember my son asking me about the brand of it, and I just knew of the brand. I never knew where it was from. That's cool. So are they mainly like a trucking or a manufacturer of trucks? But yeah, clearly a lot of different companies in Germany as well, which I never really knew about.
As one might expect, Mercedes-Benz is consistently the best-selling truck brand in the country. And though their price tag may seem a bit lofty, consumers find themselves repeatedly swayed by the manufacturer's long-standing track record of reliability and domestic dominance. Specifically, the Mercedes-Benz Actros is the most commonly purchased by German truckers.
And because it's the most common, what is the price of a Mercedes truck compared to another one? Are they, obviously when it comes to cars, they're seen as that more luxury or premium brand, so a bit more expensive than an average car. Is it the same when it comes to trucks, or do they have like a lower price point, a more average price point?
A model which has achieved success in many areas of the globe. In terms of styling, on the surface, German trucks may look quite similar to certain Dutch, French, Belgian, and other Western European truck designs, though there are a few differences which can be used to distinguish them on the road. As truck design is very much an individual choice, I'm speaking very generally here about overall trends in the country, but German trucks tend to be a bit more muted in terms of colors than some other European nations. Unicolor designs featuring silver, black, white, and red are common, while those who do decide to have their trucks custom painted sometimes opt for more elaborate and refined artwork, as opposed to punchy and brightly colored graphics.
How does this work? So like, is this like, if someone's employed through a company, would they still be allowed to like paint their truck like this, or is this more like independent truck drivers? How does things like this actually work? But yeah, again, like seeing those more like simple colors, it does seem quite German in a way, which is just very clean and yeah, like they say, like organized, things like that.
In addition, Germany seems to be more reserved in terms of lighting, chrome, and additional exterior features, with add-ons such as bull bars being much less frequent than in neighboring Netherlands. Again, trucking culture throughout Europe is built on the backs of many countries and stylings, as the free flow of traffic brings design ideas across the continent. So there are plenty of German trucks which choose to be loudly colored, brightly lit, and with ample exterior modifications. If there's one thing Germans certainly do best, it has to be their roads. As of 2023, Germany lays claim to the 12th largest road network in the world, with a total size of 644,480 kilometers in length, almost all of which is paved. The vast majority of roads are in excellent condition, and are maintained frequently, though in some more rural areas and select sections of eastern Germany, you may occasionally run into subpar stretches of asphalt. Germany is also home to the Autobahn, one of the only motorways in the world that doesn't have a speed limit in certain sections, and is, by some, considered to be the best motorway network in the entire world, though other neighboring nations would beg to differ. While trucks...
With the Autobahn, does that still apply? Is it any vehicle? So can trucks drive at any speed on that as well? Or I know that some trucks in other countries have built-in mechanisms to control the speed. Is that something in German trucks as well, or that's required by German law?
Do have to follow a speed limit on the Autobahn and other roadways, usually being capped around 80 kilometers an hour. Much of truck speed is governed by internally installed speed limiting devices, which prevent heavy trucks from exceeding 90 kilometers an hour.
Sorry, that was just, I guess I just spoke too soon there.
Despite the regulation and probable disappointment that they aren't allowed to drive as fast as they please, German truckers are still lucky to be able to experience some of Europe's finest roads and landscapes.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, being a truck driver in different places could be tough. If you look at somewhere like Russia and those more rural parts where people have to drive trucks, of course, and the roads might not be in the best condition, or there might just be not any really nice scenery. Somewhere like Germany seems like a perfect place, like perfect roads, beautiful scenery. I'm sure there's a lot of rest stops and things like I've learned on the Autobahn, but on the other roads as well. Must be a very enjoyable place, I think, to be a truck driver.
On average, German truck drivers make around 46,000 euros a year, the 7th highest salary in the world, though many seasoned drivers are able to make much more than this. Drivers in Germany are limited to a maximum of 13 hours working in a 24-hour period, 9 of which are spent driving. However, they are permitted to work 10 hours, no more than 2 days a week. As Germany complies with EU truck standards, articulated trucks are generally kept to a maximum total length of 18.75 meters, and a maximum weight of 50 metric tons, notwithstanding oversized loads and special transport operations. So, is German trucking the best? Well, really it all depends on who you ask and what you're comparing German trucking to. But at the very least, those who make their living on the roads of Germany are saved from excessive potholes, overwhelmingly drab landscapes, and the pains of navigating a 10-lane highway. This doesn't mean their job is easy though, far from it. So if you happen to live in Germany, or anywhere else, take the time to thank any truck drivers you happen to run into, and maybe just give them a little more space when you see them on the road. Thanks for watching. Please check out my Midtown Madness.
Yeah, that one for sure. Like, I've learned about truck drivers and watching videos before, because I think it's quite fascinating. Not obviously before learning about truck driving in Germany, so that was quite nice to learn about. But it's definitely like a workforce that I think should have a lot of respect, man. They keeping countries running, like keeping people able to buy goods, keeping the country fed, keeping it, whatever it is, man, keeping them clothed, like transporting all these goods that everybody uses every day. But I think maybe a lot of people just don't really think about, or they go to the shop and buy what they need and don't think about the people that have to deliver it there and are so important to like any economy and so on. So a lot of respect for truck drivers. 500,000 in Germany, huge number. Like, it's just, that's the amount of people that live in Glasgow, like the city I'm from. Just all truck drivers. That's quite amazing, mind blowing for me. Tell me what you think about that. If you are a truck driver, tell me your experience driving in Germany. Thanks.